What's good? What's good? I am back. One and only Paul Masson. Another episode of Live from Vietnam. You know how we do Live from Vietnam Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram as well. And don't forget to go follow the Paul Pickett Podcast, which could be Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Sundays, but Fridays and Saturdays we're doing Live from Vietnam. Shouts out to OG Prestige. He'll be on tomorrow. 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we might review a little bit of music, and it would probably just go over some topics. And shouts out to everybody that's tuning in on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Please give us that like. Please give us that follow if you ain't already following, and please comment, as it's much appreciated, and it helps the algorithms. Let's check and see if our guest is ready. Yo, Gia, go sit your little ass down, man. Dog be tripping up. Here the ice cream man coming through. What that expensive ass ice cream price as an economy is. What's up with my connection? My connection keep going. All right, so let's introduce our guest. If you listen to her underground hip hop, like I listen to underground hip hop and listen to a lot of artists in the 90s, you definitely have heard of this guy. And he's also done collabs with guys like Mr. Complex, Drez, Shabazz the Disciple, and more. Let's bring on the one and only L Fudge.
Yo,
L Fudge, how you doing, man?
What's going on, my brother? Nice to meet you guys, bro. Glad to be on board, yo.
You too.
What's the word?
Appreciate you taking the time out, man.
Not a problem. Do you got a good do we have a good connection?
It's hot out here in North Carolina.
All right. It's heating up in New York City right now. It's heating up a little bit, but it's still back and forth. You know what I'm saying? It's 2 days ago it was a summer day, and it's like fucking winter the very next day. It's crazy. New York is ridiculous. But we're approaching spring right now, so we'll be good. Do you have a good connection? Do you hear me well?
That sounds like North Carolina weather. Some days you'll be like literally in shorts in the beginning of the day, and then by the end of the night you got to wear like a hoodie and jeans.
Yeah, it'd be like that. It'd be like that. I've been in North Carolina before. I've done like 1 or 2 shows out there before. Shout out to
I want to start here if we can. I don't know if this is true, but did your name derive? Okay, Asheville, yeah. So did your name derive from the Keebler Cookie cartoon character?
100%. 100% it did. It was funny how I got the name because I had to own it because the way I got on in music was through a radio show famous radio show back in the days, college radio show that used to basically put everybody on. It was two big college shows, and that was Stretch Armstrong, and that was Mayhem and Martin Moore and WNYU. Those were
Okay.
the two shows that everybody used to go to. So they did a segment. They started doing a segment, Mayhem and Martin Moore, where they'll let callers call on the phone and let them rap. And me being a young kid and just a fan of the show, I called and I started like put my first raps down on the over the fucking pardon me, I don't want to curse, over the radio waves. And
Yeah, you good?
when when I finally got through the phone call, when I finally made it through, and they was like, oh yeah, and mind you, like when I'm telling you, these are like my first, second, third raps that I wrote. I didn't even have a rap
Uh
name.
huh.
And that's how it ended up happening. So they was like, "Oh, so what?" Now I'm live on the radio, and I'm about to rap for the first time, and they're like, "What's your name? What's your rap name?" And I didn't even fucking think about it. It was hilarious, and I had a box of Keebler cookies sitting right in front of my face, and I said "L Fudge" because my real name is Ervin Rosaria, and it turned out that they really liked the verse, and they ended up giving
Yeah.
me a private number so I could. They ended up giving me their personal
Yeah.
number so I could get through every year. I mean, excuse me, every week because they wanted me to spit. Myself and this other rapper called
Yeah.
A Butter. We were like the two phone rappers,
I
and
remember him.
I had to own it.
Yeah.
After that, they invited me to the radio show after a few times of doing that, and now I'm El Fudge, and I'm like, hey, it is what it is, man. I had to own it. So I really had like no time to think about a name, bro.
That's a crazy story right there.
It's hilarious, yeah, 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 yeah. But it's cool, you know what I'm
Now,
saying?
did you have to change the name myself for like legal reasons? Like the spelling of
No,
it?
no, yes, that did.
Okay.
I didn't change it because of legal reasons. Because first of all,
Okay.
we were underground, so you know nobody, I didn't sell enough units. I didn't sell enough records to cause
That
like,
Keebler
you know
knew,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
That Keebler knew what we were doing. But the reason why it got messed up was because when I gave Raucus my name, after I had signed to Raucus, they started doing magazines and marketing and promos on the magazines, and they had a whole bunch of stuff. And they misspelled my name. They put Justin L. It was originally EL Fudge, like the Fudge in Spanish.
Yeah.
Uh, and like
Okay.
Elvin, my name, EL Fudge. So Raucus, when they started, promoting on the on fucking on all these magazines, the Source and stuff, and who knows, God knows all the magazines that were out at that time, they misspelled it. So then I had to own that. So now I'm like, all right, so now I'm just L Fudge because it's like, I can't go back. But as the years went on, I kind of adopted the EL again. You know what I mean? So whatever records you see with
Yeah.
just the L Fudge and the EL Fudge, they're both the same guy. Yeah.
That's crazy. So Ruckus basically fucked up in the marketing team, like spelling it wrong, and they put out so many, I guess, posters and stuff that y'all had no choice but to kind of run with it.
Yeah, I mean, I could have corrected it, I guess, but I was young, and I was
Yeah.
just like, yo, you know what? I'd never been in a magazine before, and I'm like, I don't want to ruin it. You know what I mean? I was young, so I was like, whatever. So I just ran with the regular L, and the L. That's when I started adopting the liquid thing, like liquid fudge and this and that, because the L really has nothing to do with my name, other than it's the second letter of my name. But I was
Oh,
really the
yeah.
EL. But that's when I started saying, and I made a record, Liquid Fudge or whatever. Woo. So that's when I started doing all the liquid stuff. Was when I adopted the L. You know what I mean? Just the L.
So on the internet, it kind of made it seem like you never signed with Ruckus. So you did sign with Ruckus?
No, no, not signed like that. Like as far as like I was
Okay.
like a Raucous artist. No, I was just doing singles on Raucous, but everybody was. We all
Okay.
started doing, yeah, we all started doing
Okay.
singles on Rockets. Then Mos Def went on and did an album. Black Star did an album. But did I ever get the opportunity to do an album on Rockets? No, no. But I was part of the first stream of artists that, with the single deals that kind of gave Ruckus their name. You know what I mean? Because prior to us, they were doing like kind of like dance music, like house kind of music, and we were the first wave of like rap records that they did, and then eventually people got album deals from it. You know what I'm saying? But I never really got a deal with Ruckus as far as the album goes because we weren't really seeing eye to eye back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've interviewed a couple people from Ruckus, and they told me there was some issues with Ruckus, but I guess that's just the norm of the music industry and how labels operate.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Ruckus was
So
they were cool, but you know, um, at the end of the day, my record sold a lot of units, and I didn't get nothing but like my budget to record it. You know what I'm saying? And after that, I never got a single royalty after that. You know what I mean? And mind you, my record generated hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. You know what I mean? Because you
yeah,
times 60,000 sales by $10, do the math. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah, my record, my first single was one of really like, it was selling a lot. It was selling more than a lot of people's first singles there at the time. You know what I mean?
So have you always been independent?
I mean, I guess because Raucous was an independent label, but I didn't own it, so technically I
Yeah.
was signed. I was signed to them. But as far as an independent artist, I would say I kind of behaved like one, but I wouldn't say I was independent artist because after Raucous, I put out a few records. I did a couple of deals with other independent labels, but I've never put out my own record. You know what
Okay.
I mean? So I wouldn't consider myself. I've been on multiple independent labels, but never put out my own record. Independent means that you're doing your own thing.
So you kind of came up during the legendary time for underground New York hip hop. Like, what was the scene really like behind the curtains?
um it was dope. It was competitive. um it was super dope, like I said, but we didn't really know, at least I didn't, and I'm sure everybody around me didn't. We didn't really know what we were doing, you know what I mean? And I didn't know that what we were gonna do was gonna kind of make history later. I wasn't thinking that way, because when I first started
Yeah.
putting records out on Raucous, like Raucous was a brand new label. Nobody's heard of them. So when I'm walking around saying, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I signed to a record label called Raucous," no one knew who they were. So it wasn't like a big thing. People were like, "What the hell's a Raucous?"
Yeah.
20 years later, now Raucous gets its respect, but nobody knew what was happening with Raucous back then. And honestly, they were just, they were cool dudes. They were young dudes, and they had access to a lot of money, bro. And that's the reason why you heard a lot of those records, and they kind of made more noise than all the other independent labels because they had the kind of money that they could make things happen with.
Like, on the outside looking in, I don't know. I mean, you was on the inside, I was on the outside looking in. It always felt like they tried to do too much at one time for new guys. Is
Yeah,
there any
definitely.
truth to that? Maybe.
Sometimes it kind of felt like they were learning as they went too. You know what I'm saying? Because
Okay.
I was there for like a lot of pivotal stuff, like um, and they didn't necessarily handle it how you were supposed to handle it, but you can't blame them. You know what I'm saying?
Uh huh.
I don't blame them. For instance, it's like they put out the Pharoah Monch record, the Get the Fuck Up record, and when they put that record
Yeah.
out, like at the time he didn't even have an album fully ready. And back in those days, it was a rollout. You had to have everything ready to come. It's not like now
Yeah.
you just dropping singles on the internet. You had to have a rollout.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
record took off from underneath them, and they couldn't catch up to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they white labeled it and they gave it to a few DJs, and it was fucking gone biggest song Pharoah Monch ever did in his
Yeah.
life. It was gone. And I heard it with only one verse, and I told that to Pharoah in office. I was like, yo, that's the biggest song he ever made in his
Yeah.
life, bro. And just like that, they leaked it, and within moments, I'm walking around neighborhood where I grew up in. I'm hearing it in cars and shit, and people going by. I was like, oh, I knew it was that song was gonna go. And then they kind of had to catch up to the momentum of that record because that record just exploded. You know
And
what I
they
mean?
couldn't.
Well, they did what they did. Pharrell definitely
Yeah.
did his thing on that. You know what I'm saying? Pharrell traveled everywhere. You
Yeah.
know what
Oh
I'm saying?
hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, he was touring that everywhere, and he still rocks it to this day. You know what I'm saying? He was running
Yeah.
around. He was globetrotting with my man with Mr. Complex, rest in peace, as his hype man back in those days. So it was really cool. It was really cool to be a part and just watch the history and be a part of the history.
So you did a record with Biz Markie, rest in peace, one of the greatest entertainers in hip hop. Were y'all able to do that in the studio, or was it like you had to send him the track and he had to do the verse on his end?
Well, no, I couldn't speak much about that because technically I never did a record with Biz Markie. We ended up on the same record, but it was two different songs.
Oh,
It was an A side and it
okay,
was a B side. So the A side was featuring. Well, I don't know if it
okay,
was I don't know. Biz Marquis may have been the A side, Complex featuring
uh,
Biz, and I was on the either the B or the A side. It was just two. It was two different songs on the
oh,
same vinyl.
okay,
But I didn't collaborate
okay.
with Biz Markie personally. I collaborated with Mr. Complex on a song called "Scrape Your Back Out." I'm not even rapping. I'm the guy chanting in the background, like in the chorus.
And you and him did a few records, correct,
Yeah,
Mr.
that's my dude.
Complex?
Yeah, definitely. That was my dude. We did a bunch of records together.
What was it about y'all that really clicked?
Um, with Mr. Complex, he was the first one on
Yeah.
it. When you talk about like being independent, he was the first one really acting that really really on it from an independent
Uh-huh.
standpoint. You know what I'm saying? The way he was the first one that was really just making moves and networking and
Okay.
putting everybody together. And the first time he's ever went overseas was with me. Um, and we kind of were touring a lot all over the world, but we would market the tour like, El Fudge and Mr. Complex, but it was never us performing separate. So people would come and think they're gonna see two separate shows. No, it was me and Complex rocking
Okay.
on stage together, and we'd hype each other up. You know what I'm saying? He'll do one of his songs, I'll hype it up. I do one of my songs, he'll hype me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it was like we would do a show, we would do our shows together. So that's how we did it. And then we just did a lot of songs together because we were always on the road. We was always in studios together. Like just recording and stuff like that. And I had put out a record with this European label with called Sure Shot. Well, the people who hooked it up was Sure Shot, which is my man Mick Fresh from out of Nottingham, England, and
Okay.
he was like a tour agent. He's a guy that used to bring people out there, and I kind of was the first like underground dude to like kind of make a connection with him. And then I kind of worked out a deal with him, and he took me to a label called Groove Attack out of Germany, and I put out a record there. And everything that I would do, Complex would be a part of, and vice versa. Whatever Complex did, I'd be a part of too. The only thing that that I was absolutely not a part of at all was when he did Polyrhythmatics with Spinner, Shabam Sadiq, and these people. I wasn't on that album, but
Like,
almost everything else he did, I was a
I
part of.
interview a lot of guys from the 90s and underground guys, and a lot of y'all always talk about the overseas shows and just how much they love hip hop. Where would hip
Yeah.
hop be without overseas? If overseas didn't love hip hop as much as they do, where would it be right now? Do you think?
I, I, I mean, at the end of the day, where is it right now? Because I'm still connected with a lot of people overseas, and it's kind of changing over there too. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got
Is it
they got
okay?
they got British drill rappers now over there. You know what I mean? So, but
Yeah, yeah,
they, it slowed down for hip hop. Like the only hip hop people really touring are like the legacy artists. You know what I'm saying? Like the artists that had like big records, big enough to be touring. You know, 20, 30,
mm,
40 years later. You know what I'm saying? But as far as like me, I never had a huge standout record. You know what I mean? So, and like the Plexes and
okay.
people like that. I never really had a huge record that, I could still tour to this day. But but no, but when it comes to Europe and stuff, nah, it was amazing. You know what I'm saying? Cuz they used to they really loved hip hop, and me being from New York, New York doesn't pay. New York, everything is about the headline artist, and they'll pay the
Yeah,
headliner, and everything else is just bullcrap. Oh yeah, it's good exposure. It's good for you, for people to see you performing, but nobody wants to put money in your pocket. Overseas was paying, so I learned that quick in the game and started going overseas. And I eventually brought Complex with me, and then a lot of other raucous people started making it to overseas. But I was technically like the first guy on raucous, like, you know what I mean? Like doing shows overseas and out the country and stuff.
so one of your well, you say you didn't have no standout records, but a record that stood out for me of a lot of your records was the One Fudge. Is there any
Yeah,
like influence from the Nas One Love record from that?
of course, 100%,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah,
That 1,000%. And I was afraid of doing that
yeah,
back then, because back then, it was a different era,
yeah,
and people would be like, "Oh, you're biting." Now, now people understand that you draw and you're influenced by people, and you could quote people's stuff and people understand it
yeah.
more. But back then it was like, like, why are you doing Nas's chorus? You know what I mean? But yes, I was a super, super, super Nas fan, just like everybody else was.
Yeah, that was actually one of my favorites going through it. And I instantly knew I like, oh, this is like the Nas One Love but One Fudge. I like what he did here with it. I like the production, the delivery, everything about that one. That's a really dope record in my opinion.
Shout out to Joe Buddha for that, my brother out of Nottingham,
Okay.
legendary producer, man, legendary. He didn't. They were the first people to get me out there, but they've worked with a lot of big MCs, man, and big artists, man. So that dude is legendary right now. Shout out to Joe Buddha.
So you're one of the demigods. How'd you end up becoming one of the demigods? Because ain't most of them guys from like Boston, if I'm not mistaken?
100%. Um, that was
Yeah.
weird. It was weird. Like Apathy was cool as hell. Self Title was cool as
I like
hell.
apathy.
Apathy's disgusting. Like he's been disgusting his whole life.
Yeah,
As far as
he's so dope. So
yeah, as
dope.
far as I'm seeing, shout out to App.
Yeah.
My favorite App song ever is that Check to Check joint. It's ridiculous to me.
Okay.
Um, that he sampled Andre 3000. If you don't move your feet, then I don't
Okay.
need. So if you like next to he got a song with that. A lot of people haven't heard it, but that song is like religiously on my playlist. But yeah, um, I think I kind of made the connection with Apathy and everybody through Self Titled, because Self Titled, when he first moved up
Okay.
from Florida to New York, he I forgot that this sucks, but he was running a record label back then. He was working in a record label, and he moved up here to work
Uh-huh.
for a record label, and he ended up kind of like working his way up the ladder, and he was bringing talent through, and putting out records. Now they would let him bring people through, and I did a record on that label, and I kind of met that whole scene, Apathy and everybody, through Self. And then we
Okay.
also we started doing shows and stuff, and I'll do shows out in Connecticut and stuff like that. And I've done shows together with Apathy. He would come through, and he was just always a cool dude. And just one day out the fucking blue, while we were doing the show, I forgot where was the venue. He was like, "Yo, you want to be a demigod, yo?" And I was just like, Yeah, that's fine. I was like, that's fine. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't really take it serious like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't like one of the
Yeah,
hardcore demigods like that. But they were my peoples. So I think
yeah,
we probably did like one song that I was featured on as a demigod. But
yeah,
and then again, now 20 years later, people are still talking about the demigods. You know what I mean? But you know, like I said, we were just I was just a dude who loved rapping, bro. I love the music. But in all actuality, I was very green those years. A lot of people don't know that. I was super green. Yeah, like those were my beginner verses. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't even really find myself. Like the first record I ever wrote in my life, the first 3 records I ever wrote in my
Hey,
life.
your mic starting to sound crazy right now.
Yeah, you better.
Nah, it's got
You
some
better.
kind of feedback or something. Let's see. Hold up. Let's see if we can bring him back in. Mike was sounding really, really crazy towards the end. My battery could be getting low. I don't know if he's on the phone or whatnot. That's crazy though. So he did get his name from the Keebler Cookie character, L Fudge. That is so crazy. Hopefully we can get him back in real quick. Got a couple more questions I want to ask him real quick. Um, Make sure y'all give me that like, that comment, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. Do 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 do. And yo, definitely go check out L Fudge Music. That's ELFUGE. I was checking them out on YouTube today. The One Fudge record is actually one of my favorites. If you like the Nas One Love, you'll definitely get the nostalgic feel of that. Um, Damn, I don't know if he's gonna come back on. He might have lost his battery. Battery might went dead on him, and that's probably why it could have been sounding like that. All right, so we're gonna go to a quick dizzle break, and we're gonna be right back.
Tropical drink.
How we drinking? Me and my team, whenever we link up, they gotta be drink up. We sit down and relax and have few glasses when there's things to think about. Like I'm nice with the boss when I tend to the boss and I'm not talking drink ups. So tell the bartender that tended the bar to please pass me a big cup up. And tell that waitress that's waiting on us to put a little ice in it. Now watch the ice become weightless like the spaceships that I be sitting in. No wait and listen, no, they're waiting for that tropical twist that'll tickle your taste buds. Now taste some. Yo, I insist it's the drizzle.
Damn, bro.
All right, we got L Fudge back. I
Yeah, we
only
got
had
you.
a few more questions for you, anyways.
I'm sorry about that, bro. Actually, my phone died, yo.
You
It's
good?
horrible. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I figured would happen. I got just a couple more questions, anyways. And I'm gonna let you go.
Yes, sir.
So, well, how do you define success now compared to when you first started?
Mm. Success now?
Yeah,
It all
especially with the
depends.
streaming world.
Nah, that's horrible. That's highway robbery right now. But
Yeah,
it's kind of like it got its goods and it got its bads because right now, yes, we're being robbed, you know, musically, but right now it's easier to be an independent artist. You know, right now you have these huge platforms that, you know what I'm saying, you can market yourself because, you know, I wish I had an Instagram or TikTok when I was touring. I'll be
yeah,
huge right now. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
you know you could utilize all these things. So you know everything is really direct to consumer. So if you do your thing right, you know you can make a good living. And I know a bunch of MCs right now that nobody really hears that you know you really got to be in tune with to know that I'm making a great living. You know, monetize.
yeah,
You're able to monetize your traffic, whatever traffic you have. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather
yep,
have right now. I could reach out and touch my loyal 3,000 fans right now that are better than having, you know, 10 million people that don't really care about you. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
know people that are doing that and monetizing that. You know what I'm saying? Making a living from it, being able to pay their bills. You know, it all depends on what you consider success. You know what I'm saying? If you're making
Yeah.
money, if you're making money doing what you love to do, you're not working, bro.
That's success. Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing. If you could pay your bills,
Yeah.
but you know, somebody wants the Lamborghini and the Ferrari. That's you. You know, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but everybody has different forms of success. You know what I mean? But the one thing that's good about today's uh, market is that you can do that. You know, be direct to consumer, and you could monetize your traffic a lot easier than what we used to do. Because in order for me to sell records, you know, I would have to bring boxes to my show and sign them off the stage to sell them.
Yeah.
Now on the internet, direct to consumer, I could ship it to you. You know, it was a lot harder back
Yeah.
then. You know, we weren't shipping direct to consumer back then. We were shipping to mom and pop record stores for them to be able to sell it. You know what I mean? So it
And now they
it
got
has
these
its,
new cards that you can scan too.
yeah. So it has its pluses and its negatives, but more pluses than anything else, I think. You know what I mean? At least the underground artist can monetize his traffic and make some money. So
Now,
that's good.
yeah.
Was
So,
Gucci.
do you got any new projects coming soon that we should know about?
Um, I don't know. I don't know. I
You
have
don't know?
20. The reason why I say that is because I have like 20 years dibbling and dabbling, and I'm gonna be honest with you.
Okay.
I have enough music that I could put out 10 projects if I wanted to, because I've recorded a whole lot in my life. You know what I'm saying? But and also every once in a while I'll go to the studio, do something new. But like I said, I just kind of been looking for the right situation, and if I keep on waiting for the right situation, I guess I got to do it on my own, honestly, because there is no right situation right now. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And like I said, I've been dibbling and dabbling. A lot of people has come up to me, and everybody's always asking me when you're going to put out a project. And I have different distribution companies that are willing to work my record if I put it out. I just kind of haven't jumped back into the scene, but will I? Yeah, I think so. I'm surprised you played that song, "The Sun." I don't even know how you got it. You did your homework on that one.
This is the one fudge.
No, no, no. The song that you
You talking about
guys
that one? One
use.
fudge?
No, the song that you guys use for the flyer for this interview. That song that was playing.
Oh, that was on Instagram.
That was you found it on Instagram on my page.
Yeah. No, when you go to add, you go to add a picture and you just go to add music. I just type in L Fudge and there was just different songs with either your songs or songs that you were featured on, and I just grabbed a song.
Oh no, yeah, yeah, yeah. Because that's a later song, and I kind of know how it got up there, but somebody's making money off that, and it's not me. Unfortunately, right?
It- Is that something you gotta like basically maybe get the lawyers or the publisher or the publishers on?
I mean, I don't know if it's worth it. You know what I'm saying? It's not. I don't really know if it's
Yeah.
streaming like that. I know what project it ended up on. It ended up on a project in Brazil, and there's this guy that I
Okay.
know. I forgot what's his name, man. I can't believe it. Renee. Renee's always been a dude that was managing people since back then. He was managing like the masterminds and people like that. And Renee had asked
Okay.
me for a song for a project. For the love as always. I love you, Renee, but one day you gotta cut a check, help me get some money too. Because
Yeah.
I heard other people got paid for that same project in which I didn't. So, but
Yeah.
so I'm sure. So they're streaming it. So I guess it's they're monetizing it to a certain level. It's bringing something in.
Well, if it's on Instagram and Facebook, then it's on Spotify and Apple and everything else too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, I might have to revisit that and see what's happening with that.
Well, it's good I posted that then, because you definitely didn't know there might be some shady business going on.
I mean, I mean, it's the music
It's
industry.
It's the music business though, yo. It's
It,
like
it, it's a music business. It's fucking crazy. People are
yeah.
getting fucking pennies for the dollar for their music now with all the streaming shit. You stream for 5,000 streams, and I don't even know how much you get for 5,000 streams. Like $1, maybe not even. Not
$20,
even.
$20.
Nah, not even. I'm pretty sure like 5,000 streams will probably get you like 10 cents, bro. 5 cents.
Well, Spotify usually it's like $4 per 1,000 streams,
Oh yeah.
which still ain't much. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, it
But
ain't much because back in the days when we bought singles, you figure a $2, $3 single, that's at least $2,000, $3,000 gross. Now you telling
yeah,
me $4?
and that's Spotify. So I guess Spotify got a
Yeah.
better paying situation going on over there than everybody else because all that. I mean, YouTube barely pays, right?
Well,
Who
Tidal
knows?
pays out the most. Tidal pays out $10 per 1,000, and the Amazon is like $8 per 1,000, but they're not as popular.
Well, I'm old school. I'm still on Pandora.
I like Pandora. I like Pandora.
I like Pandora because for some strange reason, the audio sounds a lot clearer. They have better copies of the music.
And I like the way their algorithms work too.
Exactly. They're really on point. They're really on point. Check out the Fudge Station, the L
Uh,
Fudge Station on Pandora.
Will do. Before we let you go, any shout outs you might want to do?
um, yeah, I could give some shout outs. Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to well, definitely a big rest in peace shout out to Corey Mr. Complex Roberts. My comrade. Shout out to DJ Crossfader. We all got together for Complex's memorial. So I got to see everybody like 2 weeks ago. Shout out to Ty Phoenix who was there. Shout out to Pharaoh Monch that was there. Shout out to everybody that was there. Shout out to Errol, my man E Dot. Errol eats everything. He's dope. Another dope artist that came up with us. Um, Shout out to my man Charlie Cruz, the rapper. He's out here. Peace. Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to everyone everybody on Raucous, man. Everybody doing their thing, man. Everybody doing their hip hop. Shout out to my man Nino Bless. He's in the West Coast now, but that's my dude too. Shout out Nino Bless. Everybody.
Shouts out to you. Appreciate you taking the time out to do the interview. You're a friend of the show, and you're more than welcome to come back on anytime that you want to, man.
Well, thank you for having me, man. You give me a shout, and we on. Shout out to my man Curious George too.
That's what's up. Oh yeah. He actually commented on the post.
Oh yeah, dope.
He had to walk like a duck back in the days.
That's a legend right there. Walk like a Doug, Uptown Hits. That's a
Yeah.
legend. That's my guy.
Yep. Well, I appreciate you taking the time out, and we're gonna try to have you back on again, man. And make sure you enjoy the rest of your night, man.
Appreciate you, boss. It was a pleasure, man. Give me a shout for whatever, man. Whenever you want to get on, we get on.
All right. Take it easy, man.
All right. One love.
Peace. Well, there you have it. L Fudge. Definitely go check him out. Some of y'all might know him from the Ruckus days. Go check out that one Fudge. I definitely really like that record. And like he said, he might be dropping some new stuff soon and might not. Who knows? But he said he got 10 albums worth of stuff. And he's got records with Mr. Complex, Drez, Shabazz the Disciple, and more. And tomorrow, I think we got OG Prestige to be on with me tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure y'all check that out as well. I don't know what we're going to discuss yet, We might review a little bit of music, here and there. But the reviews been getting crazy, man. A lot of people have been sending in bad reviews. But once I get off here, I'm gonna clip up some clips. And yeah, appreciate y'all tuning in. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. And I think I gotta get off here in a second. We got the bare knuckle about to come for the FC. And make sure y'all go follow the Paul Pickett podcast as well, where I interview pretty much all the bare knuckle fighters, a lot of the top bare knuckle fighters, the mids, the bottom of the pack guys, whatever, man. If they bare knuckle, I'm pretty much interviewing them. And shouts out to Fudge for taking the time out to do the interview. And go check out last interview I did as well. I did Lateef, the Truth Speaker. And before that, we just did Punchline, who was also part of the Ruckus and Lyricist Lounge days as well. So go check out those interviews. And I think we're working on interviews from Binary Star and a few other people as well. And we got to follow up with what's my man Hoffa from Killer Army, which is OG Prestige's cousin. So he's supposed to be setting that up as well. And we're going to try to bring him back on, see what's going on with the Killer Army scene as well. But appreciate y'all tuning in. We about to wrap it up. Peace, and I'm out.